Now, the architecture of the BVAS was wrongly configured, wrongly designed, poorly implemented. First of all, you don't need to reconfigure or you don't need to reset that hardware. You can actually reset the hardware remotely, just the press of a button in less than 10 seconds. The software has updated and voila, it works. Now, it's not supposed to be called BVAS, it's supposed to be called IBVAS, which is Integrated Biomodal Voter Accreditation System. When the small I is there before the BVAS, it becomes an integrated access, which means a whole lot of things. When the I comes in to that BVAS, it becomes very holistic, which means we don't have to use paper accreditation, we don't have to reset it. The moment you're voting, the moment you are being accredited, the moment you put in your PIN, the moment you vote, on time, real time, the data is being accredited. Even when you put the I, we can actually have a receipt printed out. A receipt will be printed out automatically. That particular architecture can do that. But what they did was they limited it somewhat. We now spend billions in printing papers. After accreditation of the card, we now print papers. We now go to thumb print papers. We don't need to thumb print any papers. The BVAS can do it. Now, I can guarantee you, I can put $1 million to tell you that BVAS never went through what we call PCR DSS tests. Every single mobile phone you have, every single software design goes through what we call PCR DSS tests from the foundation, or we call the UT test. If it has gone through UT tests, yes, it was developed in-house. I'm proud to tell you that the particular BVAS architecture was developed in-house by a Nigerian from the southern part of this country, right? The intention of the person that designed the innate intention was for it to be integrated. But they limited it to be BVAS so that we can just put a slot in our card. It only accredits your card and your thumbprints. It does not count your vote. It only shows you the demographic of those accredited, male, female, age-wise, and the different PU units. But it does not tell you. They only said you snap the last result, right? Snap the last result. And listen, here's the catch. The result you snap is in a ROM format, random, read-only memory format, meaning you cannot change that particular result. It will be in that static format. Now, the moment they format the ROM or the RAM, those information will not be there anymore. But if it is integrated, they don't need to format. They don't need to reconfigure. They don't need to reset. All they need to do is archive. You archive this particular election. You archive the presidency. You archive the Senate. You archive the House of Assembly. You demarcate. There's what called partitioning. You partition it. The architecture ought to contain all this.
What if there isn't? What if this sounds to me like it might be a function of the space, the space for storing information on the device? What if it's a function of that and the space is not sufficient?
Dayo, I got the blueprint. I got the blueprint of the architecture of the BVAS. It contains 12 different components. One, the fingerprint scanner. It contains the front-end camera, the touchscreen camera, the back camera, the LED flashlight, the power button, the microphone, the volume button up and down, the USB Type A, USB Type C, the speaker, and the SIM card and the SD card and the device battery enclosed. Watch. The SIM card. Watch again. Listen. The SD card, meaning there is space for an external memory to be added to the memory that is there. Now, if you are designing a BVAS machine that is all to conduct presidential, Senate, rep, state governorship, state House of Assemblies, and all that, you should have from the word go, the architecture should have from the word go, create a huge random access to contain more. However, for costs, you might create it to be what? Remotely what? Uploaded. I don't know if you understand. Remotely what? Uploaded. So what happened was that majority of the information on the BVAS some of them were not remotely uploaded. They were static. They are in the ROM format, that is the read-only format on the BVAS machine. So they have to manually now configure. When I say configure, manually put in an internet connectivity to it and start sending all the information straight to the backend server.